So welcome to Phoenix. Basically, we have transistors. That's what our catchphrase is. Can I move the next slide? And if you could hear me, just move to the next slide. Yeah. So we'll discuss what to expect in our second year in electronics, what all electives to take, what all subjects are there, what all books you can refer, and what all you will learn, and what all jobs you'll do in electronics field. And we'll discuss about plans for future like jobs, masters, and PhD. And most coveted thing in BEDS, landing a project under a professor, like working in your field, applying your knowledge. So could you move to the next slide then again? Then could you move to the next slide? Yeah. So before we start the presentation, I'd like to remind you that many of your seniors might have told that electronics is a tough subject, and it's hard to get good grades in electronics. So that stigma is what builds the problem in electronics. So you come in electronics with this perspective, and that's why you feel like you feel somewhat discouraged to study in the first place. So that's not the point. If you like physics, if you like mathematics, you'll definitely enjoy this subject. And the if you're regular in your work, then there is no problem in surviving electronics, because whatever you do in class is the whatever is asked in quizzes, whatever is asked in tests is just an application of it. And if you know your theory well, you can easily score marks. You don't have to go out of your way and study in electronics. So people who are interested can have a great and fulfilling career in this field. Like there are many seniors from our campus, like who have achieved great success in electronics and electronic industry, and they have a great work balance. Like you don't have to work out of your job hours in this field. That's what I can see. Lastly, when it comes to grades, it is totally possible to score an A in all these subjects if you are committed and you study the theory well with motivation, preparation, and dedication. Tanay, could you move to the next slide? Yeah. So as I iterated earlier, some of the general tips will be attend lectures regularly, focus on building concepts from the beginning itself, and so you can save the time during your self study, because you'll have since you're in campus, you'll have many other things to focus on. You might have some other projects, you want to do some other things, so that might eat into your self study time. So if you attend lectures regularly, you'll brush up on your concepts there itself, and you reduce the time for your self study. Do not let backlog build up. It's not like your first year when you can cram like month 2 months of backlog in one year. Yeah, in electronics you have regular quizzes, you have weekly assessments in some sorts. So don't fall in this rabbit hole of building the backlog. Don't hesitate to ask doubts in class. Most professors enjoyed answering doubts, because they feel in the first place there is no one no like no to little people ask, like they're talking to a wall. So if you show interest, the professors will recognize you, and it might help you in getting projects later. So yeah, cannot iterate this, because PYQs before exam is must, because you know what level of questions you could expect. And sometimes the same question, same pattern, just with different numericals is directly asked in the exam. This has happened like quite a lot of times during my second year. And just solving the questions gives you like you can gauge your understanding and theory depth by just solving questions. So the fourth point I would like to iterate is try to understand concepts instead of memorizing it. Just mugging up the formulas won't get you through any of the courses. You need to know the like to the bolts. You need to know everything in the course to answer even the compre paper, because most of the topics are interconnected. That's what I'm trying to say. The and this is the most important. Don't try to solve the whole paper. Like the person that secures most marks in the paper is one that makes least mark mistakes in the paper. In most of the subjects, including you'll have in 2-1 and even in 2-2, you'll have a lot of calculations in them, and most of the professors keep the marking scheme binary. So if you don't get the final answer, you get 0 marks for the question, even if there's your approach is right. So try to solve questions accurately, and that's what I'm saying. Like the like famous for having low averages. That's because people try to attempt a lot of questions and they don't solve the questions accurately and to the end. That's what makes the averages fall down. So Tanay, could you go to the next question? Next slide. Tanay, could you go to the next slide?
Yes, there's a bit delay when I shift the slides.
So coming to the 2-1, so next semester you will have following subjects. So first subject, which is a 4-credit subject, is electrical machines, and this course I would recommend. Okay, sure. The first subject that is a 4-credit subject is electrical machines, and what I would recommend is paying attention to what is taught in the class, because the textbook for this course recommended is too in detail for the course, and you wouldn't understand from the textbook. Just from my personal experience, I'm talking about this. You'll have since this is a 4th credit course, you'll have labs. In this subject, you will deal with different kinds of electrical machines. So for operators, motors, transformers in the lab, you have to lab
Hello. Okay. Nice. I think. Okay, so that is human speech.
I even use this book, Electrodynamics. Okay, sure. You're saying something, Tanay?
Yeah, I guess Siddhant's mic is on and that's creating a
Okay,
disturbance.
just a second. So if it's in the... Okay, sure.
Aditya, I guess you should repeat this
For
slide.
preparing for electromagnetics. So similar sort of theory is whole slide.
Yep.
Or just the second part.
I guess there
The
was
second
an
part, you
issue.
mean, right?
Yeah, the 2-1 from the 2-1.
Okay, so I'll start again the slides. So in 2-1, you will have two 4-credit courses, which are electrical machines and digital design. So you have 2 labs. So this is kind of a lab heavy semester as compared to 2-2. So you will spend a lot of time doing your lab manuals and going to labs. So in that way, you'll have less time for studying. So first of this 4-credit courses, electrical machines. This course I recommend to just go in the class and attend the lectures and understand from there. So you'll have transformers, synchronous machines, then DC motors in this course, and that's what you have to do in the labs. You have to perform practicals on these courses in the lab. So I feel the textbook is too abstract, and there are a lot of nomenclature in the textbook. So I feel like classwork is more than enough for this subject, and just being regular in the class will help you in labs as well. So the second course, which is a 3-credit course, is the electromagnetic theory. There are no labs for this course. So this course is very similar to your 11th, 12th electromagnetic theory, whatever you study. I think many of us might have studied it from the same book, this Griffith's book, Electrodynamics. This is an amazing book, and like what we had was a like a MOOC course format. So we were given videos for each week, and we had to watch those videos. Like you could do that, but this book is also very good. So you could refer to this book and complete the content. And the questions at the end of the book are as good as well. And the important thing about this course is there are assignments which have a high weightage. So be sure to get like close to full in these assignments, because that will count towards your final marks a lot. So the third course is, I think, like four of us who are in the meet are like the favorite course of ours. This is electronic devices. This is again a 3 credit course. We don't have labs, and this course was what made me love electronics in the first place. So this course starts with physics of semiconductors. It starts from how electron works, how quantum mechanics works, and then we go into building PN junctions. Then we go into making BJTs, MOSFETs, like I said earlier, and this forms the basis for your other courses like microelectronics, ADVD in your coming semesters. So this is a very important course for going into the analog side, I would say. And like again, this book is solid state electronic devices book is a very good book, but I think whatever you will learn in the class, this is a very conceptual course. If you don't understand the concepts, I don't think so you will be able to solve the numericals. Just learning the formulas won't work here. So this book will build up your concepts, and whatever the professors teach you will send in their concepts. So I think a healthy mix of these two with solving questions would be suffice for this course. The next course I would like to talk about is digital design. This is one of the most important course for going to the digital domain, and it's exclusively asked in many placement interviews. Like any placement interview you want to go into digital design will require bare basics of this course. So I would say this is the most important course. Probably you'll do in bits here at electronics. It's a 4 credit course again, and it has labs. So in this labs you'll make you'll make basic devices like comparators, adders, then you'll make flip-flops, muxes. So even if you don't like electronics, you have stigma that you don't want to do a career in electronics, this is a very good course, because it is common. First of all, it's common with the computer science department. So you will require basics of this logic in computer science as well. So this is very important course for that, from that aspect as well. And as I said earlier, it's very important, and exclusively questions are asked in interviews from this topic, and this forms a basic for digital topics like microprocessors and computer architecture in the coming semesters. The textbook by Maurice Mano is really well written. The problems at the end of the textbook are very good, and you could expect a similar level of questions to come in your exams. So do go through problems in these books. In this book, I would say that would be enough if you read the book, and like attending lectures is obviously regularly is obviously a plus, but going through the book is also very good, and solving the questions at the end is very important as well. Then could you go to the next slide? Yeah. So in your 2-2, the subjects you will have are microprocessors and interfacing, which is 4 credit course, and it is a very heavy course. There is a lot of theory in this course, and you'll spend, I guess, 30 to 40% of your semester doing this course, because time studying doing this course, because there is a lot of content to cover. And I would say whatever like for past 25 years, Anupama ma'am has been taking this course, and her teaching is very good. And you could go through her videos. She usually takes this course in a MOOC format. You could go through these videos, make notes. I'll be sure to make notes in this course, because there is a lot of information, and you might not able to remember this everything at once. So you have to make notes. Like personally, I had like 2-3 books just writing these notes of this subject. So you'll deal with 8086 architecture in this subject. So 8086 to 80486, which we call Intel 8086 to Intel Pentium. So this is a microprocessor, basic course in microprocessor. The next course after this is computer architecture, which I'll talk about it in later. So next course you'll have in 2-2 is control systems. So control systems is a course which is very much required in people who are planning to go in robotics domain. So so you'll learn about stability of system, root criteria, and root locus, which is I'm just speaking some terminology. Don't just get frightened by these terminology. This is some sort of topics we study in this course. I would say the textbook is decent, but whatever it taught in the class is better than the textbook. So next course you will have is signals and systems. So if you are a student from electronics and communication background, this is your first course in communication. And I would say concepts of this course are very much needed for whatever you're studying in 3.1 and 3.2 in communication electives or communication CDCs. This book by Alan Oppenheim is good, I guess. Like I would say the problems at the end of the book fall short, bit short, whatever is asked in the exams, but you could easily compensate them by solving all the tutored questions. And next question, next subject which we will have is microelectronic circuits, which is again a 3 credit subject. This is just an extension of ED. Whatever you learn in ED are basically MOSFETs and BJTs, and you'll apply them. You will use them to make microelectronic circuits. So basically, this whole course deals on amplifiers and their types. So this will form the basic for your course in analog and digital VLSI, which is in 3.1. So from 2.2 and 2.1, I can tell you that. So if you want to go into a digital profile, then your courses will be digital design and microprocessor interfacing. If you want to go into the analog profile, then your courses will be electronic devices and microelectronic circuits. And control systems, signals and systems will be your supplementary courses for communication CDCs. Yeah, that's all I would say. Like to say. Tanay, could you move to the next slide?
So I'll continue from here.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so I hope I'm audible. So I guess we are already there was a meet about electives about you. So but I'll just go through it. So there BITS has 3 types of electives which you need to complete to get the course. One is HEL, humanities electives, which have to do minimum 3. DELS is disciplinary electives, which you have to do minimum of 4, and OPELs are open electives, which you have to do 5. So humanities electives are offered by the humanities department. DELS are the courses offered by your own department, that is the EEE department, and OPELs are the courses you take from other departments. So from second year onwards, you will be eligible to take electives. So you'll have to start planning your electives from now on. But when it comes to electronics and DEL electives, you are not allowed to take any DELs in 2.1. And in 2.2, I guess you are allowed to take the electives, but it is generally recommended not to, because it becomes very heavy and it is not advisable. So, and there is one more thing. Every semester, you will be given a maximum of 25 credits that you cannot go overboard. So these 4 numbers are very important for you. 3 humanities electives, 4 disciplinary electives, 5 open electives, and 25 credits are the maximum you can take in a semester. So moving to the next slide. I'll talk briefly about DELs, or the disciplinary electives. So this, as I mentioned before, are the courses provided by your department. So one example for is, like, suppose CDC for one branch, like electronics and communication system, which is for EC, is a CDC, will be considered as DEL for ENI people. But I want to emphasize on this, that the courses available as DELs are listed in the bulletin, and that is the final list, because there are some courses which the EEE department gives, but they do not count as your DELs. So go through that list in the bulletin which you have been provided, and to check which all courses are provided for a particular semester, you'll have to go to the timetable and decide whatever electives you want to take. So some DELs which are provided in our campus include computer architecture, modern control systems, modern communication systems, digital image processing, etc. So these are some of the courses, DELs, which are provided, and there are many more. I request you to go through the list, the bulletin list, and also talk to your seniors and ask for their experience in different courses. So moving on to the next slides, we'll talk about projects. So projects which are SOPs, DOPs, and LOPs are pursued under a faculty member, and the registration is done before the registration. There is pre-registration for the projects, for which you have to take the permission of the professor and then apply it on the portal on ERP. So the basic process of getting projects is you go through the research interest of the professor, which you can find on their webpage. And if that interest matches your own interest, you approach the professor, tell them about your interest, have a meet slash go to their cabin and meet them, talk to them, and then ask for a project. This does not mean they just spam project requests. That is very unprofessional. So yeah, you should look for the project topics which interest you. So there are three types of projects: SOP, which is the study-oriented project; DOP, design-oriented project; and LOP, lab-oriented projects. So moving on to the next slide. So yeah. Now I would like to talk about the scope of the degree. So like after you complete your bachelor's in electronics and all the three courses, what is your the future? So especially in the core like core industry, there are two things which people pursue. One is higher studies such as masters, PhD, MTech, and other is working in the industry, which is generally from on-campus and off-campus placement. So the further studies consists of two different aspects. One is masters and one is research based. So in order to obtain a good master's admit, be it for research or just masters, it is very important to have the following: a good CGPA. Like a good CGPA has a lot of importance when you admit for like masters. So a good CGPA will help. So if you are planning for masters, keep in mind that you have to score as much as CG as possible. It is possible to like offset bad CGPA with LOR with good LORs and project experiences, but like again I will reiterate, CGPA has a lot importance. The second is letter of recommendation, which you get from professors or people you have worked under. So they write about their experience they had when working with you, and if the LR is from established professors or people, they hold quite a lot of value, and it can make the difference between getting or not getting an admit. The third point is project and research experience. So especially if you plan on getting a PhD, it is important to have project and research experience. So this you can gain from doing a thesis, doing projects under professors, and doing projects under professors, and doing research internships. So research internships you can get after your third year through programs like MyTax, DadWise, Summer at EPFL. These all things will come in your future. So I'm just mentioning it, but you don't have to worry about in the second year itself. And the fifth part is paper publications. Generally, it is very difficult to publish papers in this field. There is not too much like, don't sweat too much if you're not able to publish a paper, but obviously a good paper publication will help. Masters and PhD usually helps in securing much better job profiles with much higher pay and more importantly, more interesting roles and opportunities. And this is one of the reasons why many people pursue masters. Ayush, would you continue from here?
Yeah, sure. So basically regarding the placements, so once you decide to work in the industry, you can get your placements through the following three methods. Either you crack any summer internship program offered by majority of the companies, and they give you a PPO. So you get a placement even before you enter your fourth year. And another way is that if you do a PS2 in your any company and they give you a PPO, then the same thing can be applied. And the third way is sit for your final year placement. So basically the job in the industry from the involve these common fields, which are firstly digital engineer domain consists of jobs regarding computer architecture, designing systems, verifying and validating designs. Another part is analog domain. So in analog domain, you can have jobs like circuit design, amplifier design, sensor designing, and radio frequency circuit. Another part is communication. For communication, you can have jobs related to signal processing and digital image processing. Another part is embedded systems. So embedded systems include designing drivers for systems as well as IoT. And the other two, which are robotics and electrical vehicles, I guess are self-explanatory. So our college, some of the most reputed electronic companies come to BITS for placements, some of which are TI, NVIDIA, Qualcomm, and Google Hardware. Tanay, could you please move the next slide? Tanay? Yeah, so coming to summer internship placements, so many of you might be knowing that currently us third year students are having summer internship season right now. So Google Hardware just visited us and we applied for the interview as well as the written exam. So basically to secure an SIP or summer internship, you apply for the interview and the written round between your second and third years. And if you get the internship, you will be working in at the end of your third year. So basically, most companies have a general format, which is a written round first, in which they ask you questions, in which there are three sections mainly, which are analog, digital, and aptitude basic. Aptitude may you can be asked basic thinking questions, and then an interview round specific to the role you are applying for. Each stream of subjects, so basically to secure SIP in analog/digital domain, you need to do the following subjects from your second and third year courses. So electronic devices, as Aditya mentioned, is a very important subject for analog domain. Microelectronic circuits, signals and systems, as well as control systems form a huge part in analog domain. And for the case of digital domain, courses like digital design, microprocessors, and interfacing are very important. So at the end of SIP, you may be offered a pre-placement offer from the company, which will let you secure a job even before you graduate. Siddhant, could you continue?
Am I audible? Hello. Let me just check. Okay, so some of the very frequently asked questions are, I have a low CGPA, will that affect my placements and internships? So some companies do have a cutoff for a minimum CGPA to be able to sit in their rounds. However, this is usually not a very high cutoff. It is somewhere around 6.5 plus to 7.5 maybe.
Siddhant, you're muted.
No, I've shifted the audio from somewhere. Can you hear me? Yeah, I think.
Yeah, you're audible.
I've routed the audio from OBS rather than the Meet. So, yeah. So some companies do have a cutoff, but it's usually like 6.5, 7.5. So it should not be that much of a problem to affect placements. Internships, sometimes, again, there is a cutoff to sit in SIPs, but it was introduced this year as I think 7.5. So again, it should not be much of a problem. You can always increase your CGPA, whatever it is right now. Don't think that it's only going to go down or it will stay the same. You can definitely work hard and increase your CGPA by the end of your second year. So you have a lot of time basically. You have like 2 years to sit for placements, 1 year to sit for SIPs. So don't worry about that. Definitely what you need to do though for good placements and internships is focus on your foundational courses. Now this year you're going to be learning a lot of courses which are going to set the stage for your future career. So if you want to work in the analog field, you have to have MUI, microelectronic circuits and ED and all these subjects down pat. If you want to work in digital, you need to have digital design and microprocessors like done really well. So focus more on gaining knowledge. Definitely CG is a factor. I won't say it's not, but it does not matter so much for internships and placements. Now, what is EVS? Okay, EVS and M3 are okay. So technically EVS and M3 are CDCs, but we don't consider, like, we're talking specifically about electronics here, and that's why we've not spoken about them. M3 is offered by the math department. EVS is a MOOC course that has a poor or good grade. So what this means is that M3 is, yes, it is a CDC, but it basically is offered by the math department. So we are not talking about it here. It is, I mean, I don't know if there's much to say. It's like a great course. You might enjoy it. It focuses on differential equation solving and all that. EVS is a MOOC course, so basically EVS has no lectures. You just have to watch recorded lectures. There's no lectures that you have to sit for, and it does not have a letter grade. It will only give you like it's like a pass-fail type situation. So poor or good, not much to say about that. And yeah, EVS is not counted towards your final CGPA, so you don't have to worry about it that much. Although try to get a good grade anyway. I'm not able to attend the classes as I find it difficult to do. What should I do? Attend them. Please attend them. EVS is environmental sciences, by the way. Attend them. For God's sake, attend classes. Now, I'll tell you why you should attend classes. One, the professor is the only person that can explain the concepts to you properly. I know that you might think that your friends will explain it, or textbook se पढ़ लूँगा मैं, you know, कुछ तो जुगाड़ कर लूँगा, NISO Academy से देख लूँगा. But definitely, what you need to do is attend classes, because the professors are going to teach you very well. If you do not understand any concepts, you can always ask in the class, which is something that you will value when you are in the classroom, because there are times where you will not understand something, and because of that break in understanding, you won't be able to understand the concepts that come after it. By attending classes, you will definitely get a much richer experience, and you will save a lot of time on self-study. What you can learn in like 1 hour of classes will take you like 3 hours of self-study to understand. So definitely attend classes. Do not bunk classes. If you bunk even one class, it kind of screws up your entire sort of understanding. So next class you don't understand, then uske next class you don't understand. You'll have to like a lot of backlog, and it's just a lot of pain to like sit and study something by yourself when there's some guy who's literally worked in that field for like 5-6 years, maybe even 10-20, sitting there and explaining it to you. So while it is advisable to attend classes, if by some chance you happen to not be able to attend it, or if you miss classes, then do try to keep in touch with your peers, understand that what happened this week, and cover up whatever is done. Remember that you can always ask professors doubts, whether it is in class, whether it is after class. You meet them after, like when everyone's just leaving, you can go and talk to them. You can even schedule a meeting with them. Go to the professor page, go to the professor's page, check their calendar, add it to your calendar, check where they are free, go and schedule a meeting with them. To schedule a meeting, all you need to do is go to their calendar, set a meeting and add them as a guest, or write a mail to the professor ki could I meet you at so and so time, or what time would you be free. Preferably ask them, because that's a courteous thing to do. And go and ask your doubts. Okay, so teachers are definitely there to like teach you. Attend classes, ask doubts, schedule meetings with professors to ask them about whatever doubts you might have, and have a good time overall. Yeah. So I think that closes this slide. So here's our contact information. One of your most important resources that you have is your seniors. You can always approach any of us for any doubts you might have. Preferably, send me a message on WhatsApp. Preferably don't mail me. You can mail me if you want, but like I don't check my mail that often. Send me a message on WhatsApp. I'll always be there. Send any of us a message. We are always free. Don't worry about anything. Call kar lo, message kar lo. And just remember that you came to BITS not just for the learning and stuff, because BITS uses the same textbooks as everyone else. BITS teaches the same things as someone else. You came here for your alumni network. You came here because you want to be part of a legacy of people who have gone on to get great placements, achieve great things. So definitely make sure you spend as much time trying to learn things from your seniors, trying to approach them, learn from your professors, learn from your seniors, and learn from your peers, because you've come here to learn. So make sure that you make that your objective. And now for you guys' doubts. So we have we have set up like a Google form. I'll just send the link once more in the chat, and we'll just take up the questions one by one, and each of us can take a few questions. I'll just send the link once more in case you guys didn't get it. One second. Yeah.
Tell that for SOPs and DOPs, I missed one point. So your SOPs, DOPs, and LOPs, you generally do it under the professor of your own department. So it counts as DELs. If you want to take SOP, DOP, or LOP under any other professor, like any professor from any other department, you will have to take the permission of the HOD, which right now is Mr. Dr. Abhijit Pete, sir. And you can also convert it to DEL, but again, you need the permission of the HOD.
Yeah. So we'll take up a few questions now. Use the form.
Yeah, I would like to answer one question that was in the chat before the Google form thing. So one person was asking when do we get to choose our minors? So that should have been explained to you in the previous PMP meet, which was general. But to give the answer to that, at the end of 2.2, you are the AUGSC looks at your CG at the end of 2.2 and allots you as and you fill up minor form basically, and according to your CG list, they perform a merit list and they allot seat in DS minor, finance minor, physics minor as per your CG. So on that, for that. And the other question I saw was, what are CDCs? So CDCs are your compulsory discipline courses. So these courses you have to take compulsorily, and those courses are which are your core courses, like your digital design is your core for your digital logic. But now after digital design, microprocessor is also your CDC. But then computer organization or computer architecture is your elective. It's not a compulsory course, but you can take it as an DEL. So that's the difference between CDC, DEL, and OPEL. OPEL is a course which is not from your stream. DEL is a course which is from your stream, but it's not compulsory to take. That's all what I would like to see on that.
Okay, so I'll take up the first question in the Google form. Can you get an SOP in 2.1 and how to get a project under Pete, sir? Okay, so I hope I'm audible once again. And you cannot get an SOP in 2.1. That is because you haven't yet completed your foundational courses. So you're probably not going to be able to like understand enough. Like you probably don't know enough to like contribute meaningfully to a project. I mean, you obviously might know from pehle se like knowledge, but yeah, you can't get an SOP in 2.1. You can on rare instances get an SOP in 2.2. Although that depends from prof to prof. Some profs give an informal in 2.2, which means that it won't be registered. But
I just wanted to add, I see someone has asked, I have a very low CGPA in first year 6. Is it possible to increase my CG in second year, and does it have greater effect on SIPs and projects? Yes, you can increase your CGPA. It is possible. And regarding SIP, every company has a minimum cutoff, as Thakur said. And it depends from company to company, but most generally it's around 7.5, as he said. But it even goes lower. So yes, you can increase your CGPA.
okay, cool. So as I was saying, yes, you can get a SOP in 2.2 in certain cases. But yeah, some professors give you an informal.
Tanesh, someone is asking to share the slides later.
Yeah, so you can get an SOP in 2.2, or some professors give you an informal SOP, which means it does not count towards your credits. However, you are able to work under that professor, and then in 3.1 they give you like a formal, like proper SOP which counts towards your credits and everything. Question number 2 is so how to get a project under Pete, sir? So now 3 of us in this meet, me, Tanay, and Aditya, are working under Dr. Pete right now. So there is no method exactly. You can approach sir like for a project and talk about like why you want to do the project, what project you want to do, and it depends really more on your motivation and your drive to do the project rather than on just pure academic skill, because there's no stipulated like CG cutoff that if you want to do a project under this professor you need to have this CG. It depends on how hard you're willing to work. And yes, Dr. Pete does take he usually follows this process where you have to do an informal project under him for 1 semester, where he kind of evaluates whether you know how hard you're working and all, and then he will allow you to register a formal project under him. beginning third year. So what most of us have done is done an informal project under him in our in 2-2, and then registered a formal project for 3-1 and so on. So yeah. Is the Gmeet being recorded? I couldn't attend from the beginning. Yes, it's being recorded. The Gmeet is recorded and the slides will be shared with you guys. So yeah, if you guys would like to take up any questions, you can go ahead.
We will go through more questions. So
Yeah, Tanay, I would like to take up one question. Yeah, you are audible, but I would take up one question. So one question is, can we say that ED is more like ES, but we studied in 1-2, but in more depth? Yeah, you can say like that, because you see the working of PN junction diodes in detail. How is the physics behind that? You start with like it's just like a journey. You start with basics and build up to the devices we are using right now. So you could say in that way, but you would have some entirely new things in band gaps and semiconductors. So I would guess it's a combination of extension of ES and some new topics included as well. So another question I like to take up is, can you take this I think Siddhant answered. What are most famous DELs in Phoenix and why? Are there like certain DELs specifically for ECE students which need to be completed if you are looking to take up a job in electronics? So the DELs in Phoenix, you would like, if you are from ECE, one of the DELs you must have should be analog and digital VLSI, which is a CDC for EEE and ENI. So that is one of the most important DELs for you to get into the electronic industry. Then embedded systems is another DEL, which is not a CDC for ED for any of the three branches. Embedded system deals with like it's a basically extension of microprocessors, and if you want to go in that field, then embedded systems is a good DEL. Like some communication DELs which are good are, like, I would say mobile telecommunication networks, satellite communication network. These are two good communication DELs. And otherwise, there are always going to be DELs which are extensions of CDCs. Like you have control systems, there is something called modern control systems. You have ED MUE, and then you'll have something called modeling of nanofed devices, which is taken by Patisars in some sense, according like he takes us as per his wish. That's what I would say. These are some of the DELs I would like to. These are some good DELs I would like to say. Tanay, would you like to answer some questions?
Yeah. So first of all, talking about DELs, there are like many DELs. Like you have to what I would suggest is go through the list, see which topic or which subject catches your eye, then talk to seniors about that particular course, and then decide whether to choose or not. You can also talk to the professors about what what subjects they are offering and what it will be about before deciding your DELs. Siddhant mentioned about informal project, and someone asked what's an informal project. So basically, what you do in a project is you work under a professor and do some work under him. He will guide you through your project, and you will learn new things and you will implement them. So what an informal project is, generally SOP, DOP, and LOP carry three credits, and they count as your DELs. But what an informal project is, they will not count as your DELs. They will not be registered anywhere, but you will work under the professor. So this is generally done by the professor to gauge your knowledge, gauge your working, how hard you work, how smart you work, what's your it is more about seeing how you work rather than what's your CG and stuff. So that's what an informal project is. And you approach a professor, work under him or her, and then if you do good, he may offer you formal project. One more, someone asked what is the procedure for getting an LOR from professors. So generally, mostly there are two ways. One is doing a SOP under like them. You can the best way, I guess, is to do SOP under them. If you work good, if you work closely with them, it will help you get a very good LOR from them. But again, it is not possible to work under every professor and get many LORs. So the other way is being active in the class, getting a good grade. So it is more about making them recognize you. So if you are active in the class, participate actively, ask doubts, are eager to learn and get good grades, that is also one more way to get LOR from professors. Siddhant, Siddhant, Ayush, Aditya, would you like to take some more?
Yeah, I would like to
questions?
address one question which just came up. Yeah, this is kind of what I faced in my second year at the beginning. So the question goes as my ES basics are weak. Just got a -10, studied entire syllabus before a night. Will this affect in upcoming sems? Okay, this will definitely affect in your upcoming sems if you keep up this study schedule through all the courses, because studying entire syllabus before night won't work in any of the electronic courses. I would say even in math courses to some extent, unless you're a genius, obviously. But still, I would say in electronics you need a basic consistency in your work. And I like to come to your point. If your ES basics are are weak right now, professors usually start from a clean slate in second 2-1 and 2-2. Obviously, they know that you might have been weak in some subjects, so they start from a clean slate. So don't be worried if your ES basics are weak. The professors do teach from the absolute basics. So just attend the classes, just be regular in your work. Just don't try to cram entire syllabus before a night. This kind of study methodology won't work in Phoenix. That's what I also like to say.
I would like to take up a question, and this is very interesting question, and many people have this. So, from where does the difference between ENI, Triple E, and EC starts coming? So, second year will be same for everyone, as we mentioned in the presentation. The all the courses in second year will be same, but the differences will start coming from your third year. So, third year is when you will do specific uh, courses about your branch. One more is I see many people asking about averages and the marks there, but what I would say is that is not an objective question. It's more subjective, and it depends on the professor who is taking it and the averages that time and how the class performs. So it's better if we don't answer that question, because we may give you some false information.
Okay, there are a few questions that I would like to take up. So I have a CGPA of okay. So there's a lot of people asking the same question for SIP. Which semester until which CG is considered? Sorry, CG until which semester is considered? Sorry about that. So usually up till 2-2, sometimes 2-2 plus PS1. So usually up till 2-2, sometimes they'll consider, like, if the company comes after your PS1 grade is released, then your PS1 grade CG will also be taken into consideration. Is there any specific professor for M3? I can't answer that question. I don't know either, and plus I can't talk about that. What are the most famous DELs in Phoenix, and why? Are there certain DELs specifically for ECE students which need to be completed if you're looking up to take up a job? Okay, so I'll actually just give you a little bit of a brief about most DELs in general. There are a lot of DELs which are famous, and they are ADVD, ComPark, MNFD, DIP, and don't worry, I'll explain what this means. I won't just pull up with buzzwords. So ADVD is analog and digital VLSI design, and this is possibly the most important course for anyone looking to do a career in electronics, because you, like, as we talked about some courses in 2-2 like control systems, signals and systems, and microelectronic circuits, and in fact all courses in 2.2. Analog and digital VLSI design kind of brings all of them together and makes sense of what is happening here. So now in control systems, you learn how they are modeled, like control systems are modeled. In SAS or signals and systems, you'll learn about Fourier transform and signal processing, etc. In microelectronic circuits, you'll learn how circuits are designed. But how all this comes together, how do you design a circuit to modify a signal which controls a specific input, right? All of this will be brought together in ADVD. So you have to do ADVD if you want to do a career in electronics. Another course is CompArc. Now anyone looking to do digital for a digital profile will want to do computer architecture, mainly because it again MUPI kind of provides you a basic into how the a microprocessor works, but computer architecture teaches you how the individual components are designed. So if you want to go into design synthesis, design verification, making digital components, you have to learn computer architecture, and it's really a very interesting and amazing course to take. Another DEL is DIP. For anyone looking to get into image processing, it is a very it's a field that kind of combines electronics and aspects of machine learning, and there's a lot of mathematics involved as well. So it's like a really interesting course, and again for anyone looking to get into that field, it's essential to do that course. There's a lot of good master's research going on in DIP as well, so you can definitely take that up as a course. Then we have MNFD, which is a modeling of nano field effect devices, and this is like a continuation to ED, where ED kind of talks about how you design basic devices such as diodes, JFETs, and MOSFETs, while MNFD will go into like more advanced devices which work on the nano scale rather than these devices which traditionally have worked on the micro scale. Although now they do work on the nanoscale as well, but yeah, you'll go into like carbon nanotube FETs and ferroelectric transistors, and there's a whole like wide world to explore there. So again, a really good DEL, and this is not all. I would just like to add that this is not all. There's like a lot of DELs that you can take. These are just ones that came to my mind right now, and you should explore the handout. You can go to the bulletin and check. Although one word of caution, not all DELs are offered every semester. You'll have to check the timetable to see which DELs are being offered in which sem. So yeah, that is a little bit of a sad thing, but yeah, there's a lot of DELs, there's a lot of interesting things you can explore, and yeah, that is going to be fun. Then another question I would like to answer really quick is what are the topics generally covered in SOPs? So there's no topics. SOP is a project. You have to go to the professor and either ask them to give you something or pitch an idea to them what project you would like to work under, and they will mentor you for that. Now to do that, you can go on their again you can go on the professor's page on the BITS website and see what their research interests are, and if what you want to do matches their research interest, then you can approach them. Definitely do this before you approach a professor, because you don't want to go to a professor who's researching like RRAM devices and go and talk to him about communication related stuff. He's not going to entertain that. So yeah, definitely do that. How difficult is it to get projects? Not difficult as such, more like, oh, okay, someone else wants to take this up, sorry. So, which humanities electives provides good grading? This is again a question I cannot answer on stream. You can message me if you want and I'll talk to you about it. Bruh, someone has put like, okay, guys, check out row number 19 in the forms. Yeah, okay. So I think, Ayush, would you like to answer some questions now?
Okay, so
Okay, I would like to answer some
take
questions.
One of the questions.
Okay. Okay, Tanay, you go ahead.
So one of the questions which is how difficult is it to get in projects in electronics when like as compared to other departments? What I'll say is it is not difficult, but just the process a bit delayed. So like for some departments, like for CS, for example CS, many people are able to take courses in like take SOPs from 2.2, but that is very rare in electronics. In electronics, you start taking courses from 3.1 and 3.2, and it is not difficult. Like as far as my experience and my friends' experience go, it is not difficult. You just have to be interested in the topic, show your enthusiasm, and work hard, and that's just how you get on project. It's not very difficult.
Okay, to take some questions, which professors to avoid when avoiding choosing courses? This is again a question we can't speak on stream. I wouldn't go on bashing professors, but that's a question you have to ask personally on WhatsApp or mail. So next question is, I have a CGPA of 6.41 in first year. Is it possible to? Yeah. So I think this was already answered, but still it's possible. And CGPA does have an effect on SIPs because you have to clear the cutoff of 7.5, which is for most companies. And in some cases, if you are extraordinary projects, then you might get a SIP. Like you might get an opportunity to sit for the SIP at lower CGs, but still it's recommended to have a CG about 7.5 at least for SIPs. So up till what semester CG is considered? So that is up till end of 2.2, or in some cases if the SIP season is delayed, they might consider the CG with PS1 added to it. So do tech clubs like ERC help in degree outcome? Yeah, surely. These tech clubs will help you a lot in your application for MS, because you'll have some positions of responsibilities in your resume. And in general, you'll learn a lot. You'll apply the concepts you learn in your CDCs, and you'll get a position of responsibility. You'll get some meaningful work in that sense. So in general, at what marks does one get an A in A plus terms? There's no such thing as A plus. You can't actually predict it. It's just according to how the whole batch performs as a whole. So you can't just generalize it in A plus, because you might get A plus 50, A plus 60, A plus 70, A plus 80, still not get an A, because that's just how electronics is. Um, Yeah. Yeah, Ayush, would you like to take any questions?
Okay, I guess I'll take up a few questions. So yeah, please, first thing, please don't ask questions.
Guys,
about-
all the questions about specific professors
Yeah,
and
exactly. That's what I was gonna say.
tech club and whatever the grading, we can't just tell you on stream. Like, we do have a preference for them. We have a preference for, like, we have an opinion on that, but we can't just disclose it on stream. So, like, sorry, we can't answer these questions.
Yeah, so as I was saying, like, don't ask those questions. Obviously, everyone has an opinion about everyone, but every professor at BITS is really excellent. The minimum requirement for being a professor at BITS is a PhD. So these people are really experts in their fields. Like, everyone might like a certain professor's teaching style, or maybe dislike someone else's teaching style, and that's fine. But definitely don't ask like.
Yeah, is
should I do
PS1
this?
compulsory? Yeah, it's basically compulsory. You can choose between a PS1 and a thesis, but like PS1 or thesis is compulsory. So in your summer term of after 2.2, you will have to do a PS1, a thesis basically. Um,
Okay, so Why are people asking random questions? Bro? This is supposed to be an informative session. Also, it's really sad that people on Meet cannot hear me right now. Okay, is PS1 compulsory? No, it's not. I think he answered that. Can you please tell about grading for each subject if possible? Okay, so when it comes to grading, depending on, it really varies from subject to subject. Generally depends on the strength of the students in that particular class. So some classes have 300 students, some classes have 600, some classes have like 50. So it really depends, but you can usually expect, okay, again, like this is very subjective, depends highly on the professor that chooses to take the course, but generally you can expect the top 10% to get an A and the average to be a B minus or a C, I think. But again, it really depends from course to course and professor to professor, and it also depends on how the batch overall is performing. So if like the average in general is higher, then you might get a B minus at average, but if the average in general is lower, then it might even drop to a C minus at average. So it really depends on where the average stands in any course. What is an info? I think we answered that. So what is the duration of PS1? So PS1 is generally taken up from May-ish after your after your 2-2 ends to around July, right? So it is kind of between the second and third year for around 1.5 months. If like it kind of varies a little bit, but yeah. Any suggestion on Dells and Opals for people who might want to go for non-core? Okay, so this question again, since it is not within the purview of this meet, I won't answer it right now, but you can definitely message me personally and I'll be happy to talk to you about this as well. Is it compulsory to take a project, and if so, when can we take this? No, it is not compulsory to take up a project under any professor. You don't have to do a project compulsorily, that's not a problem. If you do a project, it kind of gives you 3 grade points, but you can also get that by taking up a course or anything, 3 credits, but you can also take a course instead of that, and that is still fine. That's not a problem. Then when does registration for PS1? So usually towards the end of your 2-2. PS1 registration will start at the end of your 2-2, and yeah, you'll have to fill in your preference and all, but that's not itna kuch. You'll see later what the procedure for all of that is. Can you recommend some hells? Which ones did you take and when? I won't recommend any, but I can tell you which ones I took. In my 2-1, I took eco-criticism as my hell, and in my 2-2, I took business communication and intro to philosophy as my hell. All of them were like really great, and I enjoyed those courses a lot. So yeah, but might not be to everyone's taste. Can you share the slides? The slides will be shared, don't worry. We're gonna share the slides. How to go in direction of IT sector. Again, not within the purview of this meet, but definitely you can mail me. I'll send you a few contacts and they can help you in that direction as well. I think we talked about the procedure for a project quite a lot of times. So if you still have a doubt, message me personally and I'll be more than happy to help you. Message any of us. Do we need to worry about projects as of now? Okay, so do we need to worry about projects as of now in 2-1? No, you don't. You can't take projects in 2-1 anyway. However, what you need to do is perform well in your CDCs so that oh my god, someone said CG drill, bro. Do well in your CDCs so that you can later perform, like you can get have something to tell professors, like okay, I'm CT of this course, or I have an A or A minus in this course or something like that, just so that they'll take you more seriously, I guess. But yeah, it's not really required, it's fine. You don't have to worry about it right now, no worry. After 2-1 midsems, you should start mailing profs and asking for preferably profs that in whose subject you're performing well, so then that kind of helps you out. If you after midsems in subjects that you have good performance and stuff, you can that's when the iron is hot, so like hit the hammer then. Go and talk to profs, you'll have fun. And now people are just sending random ass questions. Is PS1 compulsory? I think we answered this as well. No, it's technically not. You can switch to a thesis stream, but that is a whole different rabbit hole. And if you don't do PS1, you can't do PS2, and PS2 is quite important for people looking for placements. So definitely consider that. Okay, so I think that's all the questions that I wanted to take up. So if anyone else wants to take up, then they can.
Yeah, there are some questions about masters, so I would like to take those up. So one is, are there any instances of seniors doing masters abroad with a low CG like SIP 7.5/8? So yes, there are. The one of the good things about master admits is it is not just your marks. It is about your overall. It's about your overall profile. So if suppose you have a low CG, you can easily offset it by good projects, good LORs, good experiences. So that's so basically it's just about having a good profile instead of having a good CG. So work on that. Do non-tech club/department helps for masters? If you're specifically talking about masters in core, it would not matter that much because for masters, as we mentioned, mostly the important things are CGPA, LOR, and experience, work experience or project experience under professors. So non-tech clubs and departments would not matter that much, but it is helpful for your overall development. So you can do that. What are the avenues/domains for masters in electronics? So there are quite a lot of avenues, and those are quite interesting. So there is computer architecture and advancement in that. Then there is electronic devices. So if you're if you know about Moore's law, so the one thing about that is like transistor and electronic devices research, and that is on like very top of the research where people are constantly researching about new electronic devices to make your system faster and cooler. And if you're interested in that, that's a very good domain. Then there is research in radio frequencies and signal processing, microwave technology, which is used in 5G. If you are familiar with that. Uh, then one of the masters domains is electrical vehicles. So electric motors, battery management systems, those are a few things which you can go for. Then there's also robotics, which involves quite a lot of electronics. And if you're like familiar with the spot robots and other robots, like huge aspect of that is electronics, control systems, circuit design, PCB design. So yeah, these are some of the avenues you can do for masters. Do teachers consider your CG for project? It is not an objective yes or no, but a good CG gives a good impression about you, and that may sway a professor in giving you a project. But there are also many other aspects, like I mentioned, like your enthusiasm, you're willing to do the work, your knowledge, etc.
Also, I wanted to add,
So I guess
if you guys are interested in like knowing more about what you want to pursue, I'd advise that you guys get started on LinkedIn if you don't have a profile yet. There are many people out there that put really good content on their particular fields in which they specialize, and yeah, you should just go up and follow them. They give really good tips and advice. and most of them of our former alumni that are there, they'll be more than happy to clear your doubts if you just message them. So yeah, please do that.
So I guess we'll wrap this session up. So first of all, I'd like to sincerely apologize for all the problems we had during the initial and like throughout the meet. We are sorry for that. But I hope that you gained a lot from this meet. And I just want to say all the best for your future. Don't be scared of this like of this stream. Do your best. Try to give it a try. It's a very beautiful course. I really love it, and I hope you will also love it too. So thank you. Please free to contact any of us, and all the best for your future.
Yeah, to add to that, you are free to contact any of us. Our contact details will be in the slides. You can message us on WhatsApp at any time. We'll get back to you, at the most a day. Any kind of doubt in your subjects, registration, or what kind of electives, what kind of profile you want to pursue, just drop a message. We'll get back to you. Definitely. Yeah, all the best.